Hello, hello, hello. It is a new moon tonight, so it's going to be kind of a quieter, a little more intimate feeling video tonight. It's really super quiet where I live, and I'd like to keep my voice at a certain octave. I don't want to be too loud because I have neighbors. I did want to share this with all of you. I need to make sure that you can see this. Last time I tried to film, I filmed and nobody could see that. So I did want to mention that we've gone through the full moon to the new moon cycle without a whole lot of resolution on the Nancy Guthrie case. Her pacemaker disconnected in the wee hours of the morning on February 1st. I believe it was 2 something in the morning, and the full moon technically, although you can't see it, but the full moon would have been at 2:09 p.m. Pacific time. And what's interesting about that is people are saying how dark it is up in those hills and all of that, but it actually would have been a full moon night. It would have been the night where, you know, the moon was the brightest of the first and the second. So they would have had a lot more light than usual. And I also wanted to mention that there is a full solar eclipse in Antarctica, but you won't be able to see that unless you're in parts of South America or parts of Africa. That occurs at 9:12 a.m. Pacific time. So maybe I'll just leave that there. So being that it's a new moon, I wanted to, and that it's been about a month since I started my channel, this is going to be a little bit of a special message tonight. And it's a time to plant seeds on the new moon. And I've decided that my goal is to be as concise and clear and down to earth as humanly possible on my channel. It is a psychic channel, so sometimes it feels like things can get a little goofy, and I don't want it to be that way. I want it to be as clear and down to earth as I possibly can be. That said, psychic gifting is not particularly pragmatic, predictable, or time-bound thing. I'm a Virgo, and as I've mentioned, purity and honesty and preciseness are all important to me. I realize many of you may not connect with my particular form of spirituality, but simply put, it is spirituality and not religion. In fact, I do stay away from religion, except to understand that many people are walking a religious path. So I know to live in peace and secularism, I simply accept that fact. However, you will not find religion here, and I will not allow religiosity to silence me or hinder what I see psychically. In essence, I would say it's a goal to keep my readings from 20 to 30 minutes. That's part of being clear and concise. I would like to do more, but I can talk on, and I want the information to be unclouded. And unclouded by too much personality. I may still want to share some of my crystals or my cards. Those are things that I really enjoy, and I may do that with timestamps. However, I do want to keep my readings a little bit, my videos a little bit more brief. So, and tonight I brought out the Archangel Michael card. It says you're working very closely with this powerful archangel who's protecting and guiding you through this situation. Let me just make sure that you can see this. Okay, so, and that's from the Doreen Virtue's archangel, I can't remember what they are. They're archangel cards. And that one I like, so I kind of keep it out quite a bit. Okay, so I'm going to pull a couple cards, and then I'm going to talk briefly about Nancy Guthrie case. And I'm going to pull some cards just for my channel and also for the collective. Just a couple cards. Just taking a deep breath. Boy, there's been a lot of stress lately, hasn't there? Okay. Oh, that's interesting. I let go of the anxieties of others. I let go of the anxieties of others. That's interesting. That's that one that we had in a previous reading. I think I'm just going to do one more. One more. These are, I hope I showed this. This is the moon magic. Okay, just one more. Oh, it's the same one we got from, I'm not doing this purposefully. This is the other one we got from Nancy Guthrie. Isn't that is crazy. I'm going to have to pull one more for my channel. I am courageous and powerful. See, these are the things that as a reader make me go, very strange. Okay, all right, one just for the channel, just for me. I am courageous and powerful. Again, okay, well, you can't make this stuff up. I'm telling you, you cannot make it up. All right, so I just wanted to freeform share some things that I have received psychically. And the first thing I want to share, in light of the fact that I feel like we just got a little tiny hint from Nancy Guthrie, a little tiny bit of energy from her. I heard psychically that she is at a point where she is receiving her light body. She's receiving a light body, and there was quite a celebration for her. And there was an honoring of Nancy Guthrie in the heavenly realms. And I do sense her less and less and less. People, I believe, as they transition to the other side, they have a time where their energies and their personality is closer to the earthly plane, and then over time that dissipates as they move on to be part of those higher realms and what we would call the heavenly realms. So I do feel that she is transitioning more and more up into those higher realms, and I do feel that yeah, it may be more difficult in the future to connect with her unless she specifically wants to connect. I did see a First Nations man, Native American man, in the hills, kind of calling this. I saw this psychically in my mind's eye. He was in the hills, and it was at dawn, and he was kind of calling to her spirit to show where she was, but not just to him. He was calling her, saying, in a spiritual way, saying, show where you are, shine a light. And I do believe that there is going to be a spiritual force that helps reveal where Nancy Guthrie currently is. So I do believe that's coming. Don't doubt it. I really, really believe that. And all of this has been such a huge lesson, and in some ways, a healing for us in some ways, because I think we've seen that we can come together. And I know that it certainly has helped me to be more brave with the gifts that I have. So I can only imagine that her spirit intended to gift us as part of her leaving. And that's kind of a delicate subject, but nonetheless, I just thought I would put that out there. Okay, and just a couple other things that I saw psychically today. I did see that law enforcement was wanting to put a gag order on some people because they don't want them talking to the press. This would be people of interest that they've talked to recently or detained recently. And I also wanted to mention that we're kind of getting into the circus portion or circus stage of this case. And I certainly don't want to add to the chaos and endless noise full of false narratives. So I'm going to do my best as part of my mission of clarity to be very clear and brief about the psychic messages that I deliver. And to also say, you know, if I was wrong or misguided, sometimes that happens. Sometimes you get caught up in the collective consciousness and you forget to really look at the strings of energy that are pulling you psychically. Instead, you get caught up in that kind of a tsunami of the collective consciousness, especially on a case like this. I did want to briefly mention, because people have asked, you know, why can't I find Nancy Guthrie, or why can't these psychics these psychics find Nancy Guthrie? I am not a tracking psychic. I don't track people. There are psychics that do that type of work, and they're incredible. And there also are remote viewers. So I'm hoping that the FBI has utilized remote viewers. I'm hoping that they've utilized psychics or trackers in this case. They might not have. They don't always do that, but I would think that they would maybe be willing to pull out all the steps for this. So I think that's about all that I saw today. I just wanted to mention that just because the news is reporting that certain suspects have been cleared or let go, or people of interest have been cleared or let go, that doesn't always mean that the investigation ends. This is an open investigation, and as more information becomes available, there isn't really anybody off bounds, or there isn't anybody that the police or the sheriff or the FBI wouldn't speak to in regards to this case if the evidence leads them in that direction. I guess that's kind of all I have for tonight. I just want to thank you for being a part of my channel and being here with me. I hope that this reading made sense to you tonight, and I hope this little time together was helpful or informative in some way. So with that, I'm going to close out tonight, and a very happy new moon. I hope that you think good thoughts about yourself tomorrow. Plant loving and kind thoughts towards yourself. That's always a good idea. All right. Thank you so much, you guys. Have a good evening.